Okay, this will be the last video that we're doing for the day, or for tonight. Yes, I had this problem with, shaking, obviously, within my video. And it's very frustrating, not good. And I don't know what's going on. Like I said, I was fine a couple months ago, and so today, like, that was Cipro. My life was great. I was fine. I just, had something wrong with my pancreas. Told me I had pancreatitis and pancreatic stones and gallbladder stones. And June 13th, I had a hysterectomy because I needed to have it because I was very sick. And they didn't know if I had cancer. And I had a lot of problems. And the doctor was great about it. He did the surgery really well. The surgery went well. I went home the next day. I was fine. I was walking around. I was doing everything. I was in no pain. Had nothing wrong with me. Then, 3 or 4 weeks later, I had pain in my stomach. Then they thought I had something wrong with my gallbladder. And they said I had gallbladder stones. And then in September, I went to the doctor's. Back to the hospital because I had stomach pain again, and they said I had pancreatic stones and pancreatitis. They gave me Cipro for that, and I was on that for 3 weeks, and then now, since I stopped taking that, 3 months later I started with head shaking and body shaking and not feeling well, and nobody seems to know what it is. I'm just trying to figure it out. I think it's from the medication that I was taking. So I would suggest, before you take any kind of medication, you do some research online because they don't tell you all the possible side effects of medication. So it's not fun to live your life like that, like in my video. And I just want everyone to know that right now, I'm not shaking, I'm not sweating, I'm just having a little break for some reason. And I feel perfectly fine at this moment, and maybe I'll stay like this, maybe I won't, I don't know. But I'm going to a new doctor on Monday to find out what's wrong with me, and hopefully he can find out and diagnose me, and I just want to live my life and be normal, not like in that video. It's very frustrating, and it's not fun. In my whole life, I just helped everybody else, and, took care of my kids, been a good mom, and, always helped my mom, always tried to help everybody else. And now, I'm stuck with this. Not the way you want to live. Not the way you want to be. I always want to be happy. It's not fair that I can't be happy now. I had good times with my kids when they were little. My son's going to be graduating in June, and I want to be there for him, like I was for Will. And my other, kids, he's my youngest, and I want to be there. I want to see him graduate. I don't want to be, shaking all over the place and embarrassing in front of all his friends. And, if I can't walk, what am I going to do? I want to be able to get a job. I want to be able to be happy. I want to be able to get on my boyfriend. I can't do that right now because I do this, and it's embarrassing for me. And it's hard to let him see me like this because he gets very upset. And obviously he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to tell me, how to make me feel better. And he sits there and starts crying and getting upset. And he was somebody who changed my life. I know him for 4 years. and he makes me laugh. He's a funny guy. We've had our ups and downs and, things wrong, but he's still always there for me. And I do miss him. And I have to just stop doing this. I'm not doing it on fun. It's not a fun thing to do. And, it's not from having a hysterectomy. It's not from, I'm doing it myself. And it's very frustrating, and nobody can tell me why. I've been to the hospital so many times. They took in every test. They took in head scans. They took in, every test they could take. Nobody knows what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I got to the point where I wanted to commit suicide, and my son, Zach, took my Biolpine pills and threw them away from me. And he said, "Mom, you can't kill yourself." That really meant a lot to me. Because when I thought that nobody cared about me or gave a shit about me, he did. And he was there. And, he's a great kid. And, we've had problems. And now that all my kids are older, I feel like, I want to see you. Someday I want to be here and have grandkids. Play with them. What am I going to do? I'm going to shake all over the place and be like in the video and not be myself. That's not me. And the way I should be with makeup on, looking nice, going out with my boyfriend, going and doing things, going shopping, being happy, not being like I was in that video. It's just not fair. So I'm just going to keep praying to God that he does something, finds out what's wrong. Maybe I'll wake up tomorrow or the next day and I'll feel better. It's not up to me. It's up to God. If God didn't want me to be here, I wouldn't be here. So, I don't know. So just to let everybody know, that read up on the medications you're taking or whatever you get for an infection. Don't let the doctors tell you there's no side effects and there's nothing that can happen, because there are all side effects. There's a lot of medication out there that can give you brain damage, cripple you, give you any kind of paralysis. They diagnosed me with sleep paralysis, they diagnosed me with this and that, anxiety, that's not what it is. Definitely it's not anxiety. It's definitely not from menopause. It's just, I don't know what it is. So if anybody knows what it is, or if anybody knows a doctor who can, diagnose me or something, please let me know. Because at this point, I want my life back. I'm fighting to get my life back. I don't want to be, doing that forever. And I hope everybody has a good Christmas and a Happy New Year. And, I get better. And this doctor I go to on Monday can really find out what's wrong with me. And maybe I can get some help that I need. And then, have the surgery that I need for the gallbladder and the pancreatic stones and, just get everything done. And get on hormone replacement pills and I'll feel 100% better and maybe this nightmare will just be over. Because I had a great gynecologist. He's a great doctor. And I called him at 4 o'clock in the morning, screaming, crying, yelling at him. And he told me it wasn't from what he did. And I don't know of any other doctor that would take your phone call at 4 o'clock in the morning. And no other doctor that I've ever went to would do that, not even my primary care doctor. So Monday I'm getting a new doctor, so this is why I'm making these videos, to show him. And to let everybody know that, drugs are not safe. And that's it in a nutshell. And, I can just keep praying to God. And I want to thank people who've been praying for me. And I love everybody. And that's about it. Thank you very much.